Welcome to the linear pair video lecture. Here the learning targets for you to understand the relationship of a linear pair. And to do this, the success criteria is for you to be able to construct and solve for a linear pair. Let's do some exploration where we are going to see how the construction of a linear pair takes place. We first have to draw a large circle and write 360 in it. The 360 represents the total degrees inside a circle, which is 360. If we draw a line that cuts the circle in half, you can draw it horizontally or vertically. You're going to see that it splits it in half. If we split it in half, mathematically, that means to divide by 2. So what are the values of the top half and the bottom half if we cut it in? If we cut the 360 in half? How many degrees are in each part as a result of cutting the circle in half? It would be 180 on top and 180 on bottom. This is where we get our core concept. If we take one section of that circle, we saw that that line that cuts it is 180 because it is considered a straight angle. A line is considered a straight angle because it measures 180 degrees. This is how we get that idea of a line is 180 degrees. It comes from cutting the circle in half. Let's explore a little bit further about now a linear pair. We know now that a straight line makes a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. Let's cut this now with an other line. What happens if we cut that line, the 180 degrees, into two parts? The red line that we cut with is called the transversal line. We could see that now it constructs some angles. There are two angles now. There is angle A and angle B. The core concept. A linear pair are two angles that add up to make a line, which is also called supplementary angles. The line still measures 180 degrees. So the formula would be angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Make sure you put the angle symbol here. This is the equation for a linear pair. Why? It makes a line. You can also see this as angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 because they are supplementary angles. You might see this in both ways. Moving forward, please see this as linear pair. Pair means two things. A line is 180. There are two angles that make up 180. The angle A is right here. And if we put that next to angle B, it makes that straight line. What happens now if we cut this line again? We introduce one more angle, which is angle C. If we write a formula to describe this, it's the same. It still adds up to 180 degrees because it still forms a straight line. So we write angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Rather than call this a linear pair, we call this a linear sum. The reason why this is called a linear sum is because the total angles of all the angles on a straight line equals 180 degrees. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C. This is not called linear pair because the linear pair is only made up of two angles. Now, let's look at how to solve for a linear pair. Here, they give you the value of this angle as 60 degrees. Now they ask, what is this angle? What is the measurement of angle A? Always remember to write out the equation and solve for the missing variable. In this case, we set up the linear pair equation. Angle A plus angle B, in this case, which is 60, is equal to 180 degrees. We subtract 60 to both sides so we can solve for A. We simplify, so A becomes 120 degrees. This makes sense because if we put 120 here and the rest is 60, this together makes 180 degrees. I would like you to give this a try. Now practice solving a linear pair. In this case, this angle is 160 and you're solving for the missing angle measurement of angle B. Here's the solution. The equation would be 160 plus B is equal to 180. Solve B by subtracting 160 from both sides. On the left hand side you get B, and on the right hand side 180 subtract 160 becomes 20. Next, we're going to look at a very special linear pair. Here it asks us what is the measurement of angle B. So we set up the equation one more time. 90 plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Subtract 90 from both sides. We see that angle B is equal to 90 degrees. This leads us up to our core concept. When two lines are perpendicular, they have 90-degree angles. You're going to see it by a box at the corner of that, at the vertex of the angle. Now we're going to practice finding angle measurements. What I would like you to do is pause this video and try to find the missing angles in all 4 problems. Please pause the video now. Let's look at the solution. Number 1, we see that angle A is 170 degrees. Number 2, angle A is 100 degrees. 3, angle A is 75 degrees. And 4, angle C is equal to 130 degrees. And these, in every single case, if you add up those angles on that line, it makes 180 degrees. This is the last one, which is a little bit more difficult. You're going to find the missing angle measurement. You're actually finding the missing value of x. Okay? So, let's take a look. You would have to set up the equation. Here, it's x plus 20, which is the first angle, plus 60 is going to be equal to 180 degrees. You're going to combine these two because they're a linear pair. Here's the equation given to you. You can start combining like terms. I draw a line straight down here so you could visually see the left hand side from the right hand side. There's nothing in front of the parentheses, so it just becomes x plus 20 plus 60. The left hand side, 20 plus 60 becomes 80. Now we need to get x alone, so we're going to subtract 80 to both sides. That's why the black line is there. It shows you the separation between the left and the right hand side. The 80 on the left cancels out. So you get x on the left hand side. In the end, x is equal to 100. But if you want to find the angle measurement, you have to plug it back in. So x is going to be 100 plus 20. This gets you 120 degrees. This makes sense because this forms 180 degrees. Make sure you plug back x in because they're asking you to find the angle measurement. Number 2, let's set up the equation. X minus 45 is the first angle, plus 40 is the second angle. That equals to 180 degrees. Draw the line straight down to separate the left from the right hand side. The parentheses goes away because the 1 in front leaves it the same. Negative 45 plus 140, that becomes 65. Now we need x alone, so we're going to subtract 65 from both sides. X is left over on the left hand side, and the right hand side has 115. That's what x is, but we want to find this angle measurement, so let's plug it in. 115 was the value of x. Subtract 45. That got you 70. This makes sense. This should be 70 degrees because if we add this, this should be 40. Okay, I made the mistake here. This is not 65. We saw that. This should be 95. So we're subtracting 95 from both sides. 180 subtract 95 is 85. Because if we, now this is wrong. Let me clean this up so we can see it properly. Okay. This should be 85, subtract 45. 85 subtract 45 gets you 40. This makes perfect sense because 40 plus 140 equals 180. This is how we can check our work. Good job. Number 3, it's a linear it's a linear sum. So we set it up. 15 plus x plus 20 plus 85 equals to 180. Draw the line to separate the left from the right hand side. 15 was left here. I combined the 20 and the 85. Then I combine it again. 15 plus 105 becomes 120. Subtract 120 from both sides. I get x equals to 60. Let's see if that makes sense. 15 plus 60 should be equal to 75. Now let's add this. 75 plus 20 plus 85. Let's make sure that adds up. 75 plus 20 plus 85. Yep, that is correct. 75 plus 20 degrees plus 85 degrees does become 180 degrees. Okay, good. Lastly, I would like to show you how this looks like on Delta Math. Here you might see the question, which angle measurement is supplementary to angle LKN? LKN is right here. LKN is angle 12. Okay. Now we want to see what is supplementary to it. So what makes a linear pair with it? Okay. Would it be 10? No, 10 would be the vertical angle. Angle 12, which is LKN, is going to be the supplementary angle to it would be angle 11. Let's see if I could enter 11 here. Okay. That is correct. Okay. Angle LKN is angle 12. Angle 11 is supplementary to it because it makes a line. There you go. That is everything that you need to know about linear pairs.